Hello, everybody. Welcome to the scene for New Sarah, as we are joined in The Crow this evening. Daniel Delavigne stands out close to the Firehouse 17, which is an abandoned fire station. Smoking a cigarette kind of casually, she looks around. Cigarette goes through her nose as the smoke inhales deeply. She can see the car in front of her, watching very carefully. She doesn't move. She stays almost stock still, wearing essentially what looks to be street clothes, far from removed from the elegance that she would normally be wearing. She watches people pass her by slowly. She looks over at the figure over in the car that's just the block downwards, but she can see it and he can see her. Almost watching to see which one is he interested in, which one would he want her to pick up to bring back for the child, for the small little Renee who is currently, well, injured. As Tootie stands there waiting for the good doctor to make his decision.
Delroy's tapping two of his fingers against the steering wheel in a sort of rhythmic motion. Waits, sees a couple of vagrants. Some people probably who are way too drunk. No one that really stands out. No one that's prime cut. And only the best will do for dinner. And eventually, there is somebody. There's a woman. She looks just barely older than probably Tootie looks. Brown, mousy hair, almost cut in a sort of fob bowl style. Clutching her bag a bit too close to her body. Probably has no business being here at this time of night, which is too bad for her.
So, Tootie watches. Delverus, you don't see Tootie anymore suddenly. So Tootie, I'm going to screen share this in the background. As Tootie is about to roll something as she spends a blood point. Share, quickly move over here. One success. Actually, no, that's a couple. So she suddenly switches, and the figure you see coming out, blonde hair, slightly more, a lot more androgynous looking, still smoking a cigarette, begins walking up to the woman very slowly, almost like the person is getting used to walking in a certain way.
Delrush smiles from his car seat and unlocks the door.
So I'll make... You know what? I'm going to make a roll. I would say it's going to be manipulation subterfuge. What's my subterfuge again? It's that many. So I'll screen share very quickly. As she, Tootie is going to tell her that he and his boyfriend need some directions. He's over by the car. So I will roll. With 3 successes, and 2 of those are 10s.
Yes, she sort of startles as she hears somebody talk and expecting to see the worst. Is almost confused at first. This very, very attractive, very androgynous man. And I'm guessing you changed your attire.
I got enough successes to do so. So, looks a bit kind of feminine, but definitely around the same appearance as Tootie, though. I can't go any above yet. I didn't get enough success to go above my appearance score, but again, appearance 3. And just with a very warm smile, he's like, sorry, my boyfriend and I are a bit lost, and you know how embarrassed he is, and we're looking for some directions. We're kind of new here. Would you mind just pointing us out somewhere?
No. Where do you need to go?
We're looking for a place down in, what's it called? The Little Finger? If you mind, like, we've got a map and stuff, so it points over
Uh,
to the car.
did you roll? What did you roll just now
Min,
with the 310?
Minipsub.
Okay, no, okay. Well, let's just say it's a pretty disarm. Um, yeah, no, it should be just down the road. Do you have like a phone, Google Maps, something like that?
Yeah, you start to walk over to the car. As Ted as he opens the door to Teddy, he'll kind of turn. Do you got that map?
Yeah, of course. And he just leans over to the glove compartment, and amongst the other things, gives Tootie the map and pulls out a syringe, which he conveniently sticks in the sleeve or in the pocket of his jacket.
And
Yeah, here it is,
to
dear.
he'll smile, thanks, sweetie, and lay the map down in the car and like smile over at the woman again, very disarmingly.
Yeah, no, she kind of followed you, but at a distance, when you walk over to the car and seeing that
Mm-hmm.
you've not really made any sort of real effort to pull her to the car feels a bit more safer. And when she sees you actually pulling out the map, she can sort of see her drumming her fingers and, going over. Um, where's the little finger you're looking for?
We're looking for what was it again? Fingers Gate.
Oh, let's see. I don't really go there often, but it should be. And she sort of leans over to check the map.
2D whilst he's doing that, we'll just extend her hand outwards toward like Delarue's, just extending out the back, almost like open palmed.
Yeah, and he's sort of out and in of the car, if that makes sense. That the
Mm-hmm.
door is open and he sort of stood with one foot inside the car, looking over and sort of muttering to you and like, I told you we should take the other exit, selling it.
He
And
can't drive. My boyfriend can't really drive. Sometimes he likes to complain as she'll take the syringe very slowly, moving effortlessly. And
should we just have for fun roll some here?
I'll roll Dex Melee. I'll roll it.
Dex stealth, shouldn't it be? If
Yeah.
we're
Stealth, yeah. I'll roll Dex Stealth. Let me screen share.
okie dokie.
3. Actually, no. 4.
Oh wow, ooh.
Yeah, then 10, 7, 9, 9.
With sort of surgical precision that Tootie has learned from her many times watching Dr. Delarue's at work in the basement. The poor lady doesn't even see it coming before that needle thin just sort of pricking in her neck as it slides in, finds the perfect vein immediately. Perfect dose, calculated as always. Probably Tootie's doing more than Delarue's. She doesn't even get out a single scream before her legs sort of buckle underneath her. She's jelly in your hands.
Yeah, 2D kind of catches her effortlessly. Like, we'll look around quite casually. Again, it's the middle of the night, and she'll look around, pop open the trunk.
Delarue does so. He sort of walks back to the car. That went a lot smoother than usual. Scottle.
Again, the male figure turns. He gently hefts the body in and closes the trunk and speaks again with a very feminine voice. That's because we've had a lot of practice, and we're in a rush.
Practice makes perfect.
Make sure you change the license plates and take a long drive. I've dosed her with enough morphine that she won't be waking up anytime soon.
And with a gloved hand, he just sort of strokes one of the cheeks of the lady in the back truck before thumping it down. Well, let's go make dinner.
Trudy will nod and step in the back seat, not get in the passenger seat. She get in the back seat and lie down, and then suddenly, after about when Deller starts to drive away, sit up and bam, 2D.
You really got to teach me that one of these days.
Isn't right, Dr. Delores? Smile.
He smiles back in the rearview mirror. And one overly long drive with a few dead ends and turnabouts, Renee will hear the car pulling up in the driveway into the garage.
Would she have been left downstairs or up in her room?
It's
Didn't
downstairs.
we?
I have no idea
will-
where you need to go to truck things.
Oh, did we bring you up at the end of last scene? Didn't we? We tucked you in?
Mhm. Yeah, tucked you in, yep.
So yeah, I'd say you're probably still in your room if you
Yep.
haven't gotten up and about.
Yeah, she will probably just be sitting up in her bed. With the cat thankfully not on her lap, but nested beside her, idly stroking him and keeping herself calm. Will just kind of cock her head, hearing the car roll up the drive. Excuse me.
Dolores gets out of the car. Tootie dear, would you see to Renee while I prepare the dining room?
Sure. Yeah, she'll just walk in. Renee will hear the door close, and she'll hear thump, 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 thump as someone's lightly jogging upstairs.
And Renee will cut
Dolores
to the
gets
chase by telling the cat to behave himself or go under the bed now if he's going to be fussy. But yeah,
Okay, go
just be looking to the door.
Mm-hmm. You go first, Raz. Tell us what Dolores is doing.
Mhm.
Dolores hoists the body out of the trunk and makes his way into the dining room. And I'm guessing it has one of those double door sliding things you can close.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. As he puts it down in one of the chairs, gently, as gently as possible, goes to close the doors behind him, and actually moves to their bedroom.
As he's moving up, me in the meantime, 2D will knock on the door as she's opening it, obviously.
And yeah, Renee will be looking to the door, still kind of nested where she's been left. And the cat, thankfully just kind of gives Tootie the bitch face, but stays very firmly lodged next to Renee's hip, under her hand. Hey?
Hi. Feeling any better?
I mean, if I said no, would that make me an ass?
Just give you a little smirk. Well, you are in luck.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. We got you some food.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Don't have to worry. It's completely clean.
Okay.
I'm just gonna have to help you downstairs.
Yeah. Yeah. She'll go about very delicately, moving the blankets from atop her legs, which thankfully are bandaged so friction isn't agonizing. But yeah, at least goes so far as to get herself seated on the edge of the bed where she's easy to help up.
2D will walk over and probably actually go at the cat as it runs away, probably from 2D.
He tries. He really tries to be stubborn and maintain his point of fucking dominance on the bed. But yeah, especially as she gets closer and kind of looks at him, yeah, he fucking ducks around, disappears in that gap between the bed and the wall.
And yeah, she'll come over and hoist her arm under Renee's. Probably counts to 3 and then gently lifts her up.
Yep. And there will still be a hiss of pain because, I mean, her feet are probably the worst of it. But she's got to move. So let's see how well she does, just for funsies. I want to say Oh, Jesus, I keep forgetting her willpower is so high. I will just do it in the Discord. Yeah, she bosses it. I'll even briefly screen share. Like a good person. There you go.
Hey.
At least 3 successes. So yeah, thankfully she sucks it up pretty well and will hobble along with the help. Probably leaning a good bit of her weight on Tootie.
Yeah, Tootie takes it in stride, casually helping you carry down. You do notice she's wearing a lot more, like, essentially, I would say streetwalker clothes. They're all ripped and they definitely have a musk about them.
She'll probably kind of smirk and comment on it a little bit as they're going down the stairs, which is a very, very, very slow process. But just kind of a little good-natured ribbing.
Well, you have to blend in. Just gently ease Renee down again, leaning against one of the couches.
And so she is propped, and so she will stay as she, eases down into a seat.
Yes, as you make your way into the living room, to the dining room, the doors are still actually closed. There's two sort of old southern style doors, oak. But just as you sort of get to them, they are slid open. And the always impeccably dressed Teller is standing on the other side, and he looks very pleased. Renee, how are you doing tonight?
Still at least half burned, but otherwise good.
Let's see if we can't do something about that. And he moves to the side, revealing what's actually on the other side, which is a corpse. No, it's it's a well-made dinner table. 3 plates put out. Plants and decorations abound. And also the woman dressed up in a very neat white dress laid across the entirety of the dining table. Her hands are actually placed upon both plates, and her head stops right by the third one at the head of the table.
Tootie will look over and whisper, "She's been dosed. She's not going to remember most of this."
And it'll also help with the pain you're feeling.
Mm-hmm. We'll be making sure to drop her off somewhere safe afterwards.
And usually not a big fan of having to dose people, but in this case it's the only way to get any type of medicine or chemical inside of us.
Mm-hmm. We didn't want to take the risk of bringing you out, so we brought the food to you, but don't worry, we'll make sure that she's nice and safe after. She won't feel a thing.
There's maybe the mildest concern on her face. Good glance aside to Tootie. Is she gonna be okay with all 3 of us?
It's mainly for you. She'll give a smile. And the doctor and I are quite skilled at medical knowledges, so we'll make sure that nothing goes overboard.
Yes, I'm afraid this is just the result of my fondness with theatrics and always a good family dinner.
And there's some mild trepidation, but I mean, she's not going to refuse. And depending on what she's dosed with, you know what, it might actually be pretty good to get something in her system. So she doesn't balk. She lets Tootie keep, helping her along.
Put you right down at the table, right where her wrist is.
Delarose takes his seat at the head of the table.
Judy kind of stands over Renee like a mother observing her child eat and all that, kind of resting her hands on the wooden table, watching.
And yeah, she is sat at the table, and remind me at what point you have to start rolling.
3.
3.
3.
And yeah, she will set herself down. She'll probably glance back to see if Tooty's going to sit, but when the hover is made so real, she resolves that nope, she's okay. No waiting for her to get into her seat. And yeah, she is more than happy as soon as there's any indication that she is good to go, that she will take a hold of the wrist and feed maybe 2 points out of her, but pulls up pretty short at that point. I have no idea if I need to roll something for the morphine or not.
No, I think it's pretty like
instantaneous. Yeah.
I think.
So not only is she less hungry, but the pain finally starts dulling, and she pauses off after drawing 2 points of blood out, and sits up a little and just kind of sighs in relief because, let's face it, this is about the only painkiller she can get.
You have enough to heal yourself?
Dunno. Maybe?
Nay. Just very slowly. You have to heal yourself, which means you're going to have to heal some of that will make you hungrier. Do you understand?
Should I get away from her first then?
I'm saying you're going to need to make sure that you're full so you don't end up making yourself too hungry after you've done it. You can't afford to be charitable, not in your current condition.
Don't worry. Delarose sort of reaches a hand over. Like Tooty said, we both know a great deal about this in medical terms. It might not be comfortable, but no harm will come to her.
Oh, remind me how you set your hunger rating. It's 7 minus your self-control.
Yep.
And you have to be at that number or above it?
You have to be at that number.
Okay. So there's kind of some hesitation, some marked hesitation. Though with the omnipresent reassurances, she will take another point.
Okay. The woman starts to go pale.
She pretty promptly detaches at that point, even sits back a bit.
Judy just rests her hands on her shoulders. Easy, easy. It's all right. It's all right. She just look over to Dolores very casually, like just nodding as she's tapping Renee's shoulder.
He nods back. He's got his fingers on her pulse by her neck, sort of feeling around, and gets up and moves to a better vantage point. And would you mind rolling me 7 dice, Tona?
Sure. 7.
Actually, that is 6 dice. Sorry, 6 dice.
6. Sure. Sure. Let me just quickly screen share. Six. There's 2 successes there. Bam, bam.
That's enough.
Oh yeah,
stabilize.
Yeah, you keeps you stable.
Well,
All the while,
I will
2D is
take care of
just
her.
stroking Renee's hair. See? She'll whisper.
Delores actually picks up the lady at this point, very affectionately, or at least very gently, in front of Renee.
Yeah, they
I'll
will
make
find
sure.
perhaps. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, he just says, I'll make sure that she is okay.
And for what it's worth, they may have found that during the period where he was making sure she was stable, Renee still had her hands, one like curled around the extended hand and one on the wrist, a thumb pressed against the pulse. But yeah, she lets loose nigh immediately, looking distinctly relieved.
See? Everything's fine. Just like we said.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to go upstairs and relax, or do you want to get this over with now?
Over with?
You're going to have to heal yourself.
Isn't it unconscious?
You have to concentrate, Renee. Let the blood... You have to force your blood to do things. You can make yourself stronger, faster, tougher. You can heal wounds like gunshot stab wounds. You can even heal the burn marks. You just have to force yourself. You have to will the blood in you. So
Oh.
concentrate. I can hold your hands if you need me to.
And yeah, for what it's worth, especially with Delarus getting the chick stable and all, and with 2D hovering close and stroking her hair, she has probably unconsciously even leaned into 2D a bit.
That morphine is some strong shit. That is a heavy dose of morphine you've been given.
Oh, Jesus. At least she's not in pain. Yay!
You just feel very lightheaded. Very, very lightheaded.
Which means she is probably, if anything, leading into 2D all the more, because she's kind of just dizzy.
So I need you to concentrate now, Renee. Okay?
Okay. And she will, for what it's worth, kind of like... It's an awkward, almost pawing motion more than reaching for the hand because she's a little out of it.
We'll kneel down and just gently take the hands.
Then yeah, she will take what is offered. Take hold of the hands and try very hard to focus. And at least there is this, as far as medical knowledge. She has some idea of what her body needs to do to knit, and she does her best to focus on that and force the blood through her system.
So yeah, you spend 5.
Yes, you do.
You sober up immediately, by the way. But my God, is that painful? My God.
Is it painful to heal?
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some floundering in the process. She seems to have trouble focusing, but once she finally does, yeah, the 5 blood is expended, presses through, knits together some of the surface, like some of the worst of the burns, and almost immediately the hands kind of clench. There's another very sharp hiss of pain. She tenses in the chair.
He's just all the while staring at her. Just nodding encouragingly.
Shit.
It's okay. Look, see? She gesture at one of her legs, which is now... Part of it is now silky smooth, as if it was brand new baby skin.
Slowly working down, yeah. She kind of gingerly picks at some of the bandages, lifting them up from the skin, looking under.
See?
Still kind of scrunchy faced.
Now you're gonna have to rest for a bit and do this again tomorrow.
Fuck.
Okay?
Yeah. Jesus.
It's a slow process, but you're fine. She'll give her a smile.
Fuck, that hurt.
It does. Now you know the reason fire is bad for us.
Yeah, no shit. God damn. Starts kind of
Fire.
rubbing at her face.
Whenever you see fire, get out quickly. Always make that as an important rule. Fire is bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotcha. Definitely bad.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Strokes her face very gently.
God, I wish painkillers still worked.
She'll just smile sweetly. Looks over, waiting for Dillarus to come back.
Yes, you'll eventually hear some noises from the kitchen before he appears in the doorway with signature wine glass in hand. Feeling better?
Technically, yes.
Well, then that's technically good.
Yep. Jesus, what did you dose her with?
Morphine. A combination that I created, a mix of ketamine and morphine. That takes away the potency and lethality, but adds most of the effects.
Jesus.
We like to be safe rather than sorry when dealing with lives.
Man, some good shit though. Rubs her face again.
Yes, it is.
She's probably idly, not in the same anxious tap tap tapping that she normally does, but idly drumming the fingertips of her offhand on the arm of the chair. If anything, it looks like an attempt to distract herself from it.
Do you think you can walk better?
Yeah, maybe.
Slowly stands her up.
Delaware very quickly when you do that goes to Renee's other side to help.
Yeah, I tried to focus on my feet. I don't know how well it worked.
Huh? Only one way to find out.
Yeah. And yeah, she will end up getting hoisted, kind of hovered on either side, and end up on her feet. And while movement is still painful, at least she is able to bear her own weight at this point. It's very possible that she focused primarily on even the soles of her feet because the stepping process, the pressure between her feet and the floor doesn't seem to be as bad. I mean, moving in general hurts just because the legs are still kind of fried, but at least she can bear her own weight at this point. Yep. Slow, but moving.
Good, which means, well, it'll be easier to actually bring you out and hunt as well.
Yeah. God, how many times am I going to have to do this? You think? Kind of glance aside because she figures either one of them will probably know better than her.
Till it's gone. You'll know when.
Suppose when it doesn't hurt anymore. Great.
She'll just nod. Like I said, I've had a very similar injury.
How did you manage?
Gives this smile, looking over at Dillarus.
He gives a very affectionate smile back, sort of warmth in his eyes. Well, difference is you'll have two people helping you instead of one. We'll get this over with.
Yeah. Can't afford to be fucking fried chicken while all this crazy shit's firing off. Think anything bad's gonna happen at the next one?
No. This is more of a statement.
Intent. Statement of intent.
Just smile, Renee. That's all you need to do.
Yeah. Just gotta show up.
Mm-hmm.
Is it creepy to anyone else that they're sending my shit here now?
They know where we live, and that's fine. That's their job. We've
Isn't the
nothing to
whole-
hide. We've nothing to hide.
But isn't the whole
Wouldn't-
point to not let anyone know?
He wouldn't be the prince if he didn't know where we live, now would he?
I mean, is he yet?
Effectively, now he is.
Jesus.
Antoine, when he was New Sarum before, was the keeper of the keys, which means he knew where everyone's haven was.
Oh.
And
Even
now
provided-
Serge knows.
We should probably talk to him first about certain things, Dolores, but you and I will talk about that later. Together.
Yes. I suppose we will.
She just smiled. For now, I need to get you to bed. Except Renee.
Yep. Bedridden. Best ever. At least I have a charger. Shit.
Well, try to enjoy it as much as you can. There's not going to be many excuses outside of this to be bedridden or with our condition.
Yeah, fair.
Tootie help her haul her up, essentially. Help her upstairs and gently help her tuck back in and kiss her on the forehead.
And Renee, of course, weathers it all in about as good a spirits as she can. It was so nice to not feel pain for just a hot minute.
I'll get you more tomorrow.
Thanks. You guys are doing a lot for me. I appreciate it.
Of course. She just pats her cheek. Of course I would.
Slightest nod.
We'll talk more when you're in less pain, okay?
Yeah.
You just settle down. And she'll just begin to hum as she's walking out. Walking straight towards Dillers. Renee can see she's walking towards them as she's closing the door.
Yep.
Belarus doesn't wait for her to sort of arrive for him. Just as soon as she's coming to him, he turns on his heel and walks to the basement. Not quickly, of course, but sort of walks to the basement.
She'll follow down, closing the door, locking it, not locking it, but just kind of latch shut and following down as she catches up to Dolores. If we're going to make Antoine like us, we're going to need to offer some sort of tribute. After all, Antoine and I are such an interesting relationship now.
Are you worried?
A fraction. But I doubt he will do anything overt. After all, Knight of New Sarum, and with such friends, he won't hopefully make too much of a big deal. However, we can always surprise him with something.
He looks
She'll
over
look
the
over.
body.
She'll look over at Delaware with a grin on her face.
A show of clan unity.
Precisely. Bringing a troublesome thorn right at his feet. Courtesy of Clan Malkavian and the promise that we'll continue to serve. Thanks to Dr. Delarus and Danielle Delavine. Perhaps little Pod's usefulness has finally come to fruition.
His smile is Brodignagian. I don't know whether to be proud or horrified sometimes, Duty.
You just be my Mr. Star, Dr. Delarus. You let me worry about everything else. And she reaches and touches his cheek, stroking it.
If that's the case, then I say let's have dinner.
just smile and watch him go to work, essentially, sitting down in her familiar seat and begins to take notes, even drawing Delarose.
And as Delarose works to prepare the meat, to prepare dinner, he never stops smiling.